Hi everyone, Miles Mather here, just putting together a quick show reel for you really, just to show you how my career breakthrough course works, how I work, and so you've got a bit of an idea of what it's all about. Kindly, a couple of my clients have put together some little testimonial clips which I'm including for your interest. I'm very grateful to them for the trust that they've put in me in working with me on this program. And it's one of the things that makes coaching so rewarding.
Like many people, I've tried to make changes myself. I've read books, I've seen presentations, I've sat back and indulged in this kind of so-called learning. But it wasn't until I really went through this program, structured week by week, trying to actually build up a picture, essentially writing my own book in terms of who I really am, what I really want to get out of this, that it really started to come together.
I've been in the job, my current position, for more than 10 years, and I found it valuable to set aside time to make a plan, a structured plan for making that change. The structure of the course was helpful because it began with thinking outside the box, challenging my normal way of thinking, and culminating in a formalised plan to take forward next year. So thank you to Miles for his careful and considered assistance, and I would absolutely recommend the course to anyone who is serious about wanting to make a fundamental change in their life.
The other thing I just love about coaching is putting together models. I've put together many models on this course, very numerous. There's a lot in there, as I'm sure they'll tell you. It's really the result probably of 30 or so books on the shelf in my study, which are written by the greatest minds in psychology, neuroscience and coaching, and 3 training courses I've done this year and the ones I've done previously. I'm slightly spoiled for choice with material, but what I'm trying to do, particularly for this course, is be selective and really focus in on the models which provide people the best structure and the most kind of insight so that they can support themselves in the best possible way as they step forward and figure out what is possible for them. There's 8 modules in the course and we cover 1 module per week. There's a consolidation week halfway through to catch up on some of the work that gets done out of the calls, and that's really the thinking work, the brainstorming work, where the action happens in your head as you start working on your thinking, on yourself, on your awareness, on building your personal brand. So that is that's a critical part of the course as well, the work that you do on your own when you need to find some clear headspace and start doing some proper thinking, getting out a pen and paper, as I always say, and actually spending the time selfishly for yourself to think about, what do I want, what the hell do I want, and how am I going to get there? So in the first module, we look at self-awareness. We use my SAM model to develop a much better understanding of our thoughts and our feelings and the relationship between them and our actions and our results. Maybe your friend Tommy said that what you wanted to do was hard, and you said to yourself, that means it's impossible for me. So we're sort of allowing our mind to run wild with lots of circular patterns, which the mind seems to love, and sort of reinvents things and sends them whizzing round and round very quickly all the time. And we're starting to make assumptions internally very quickly and subconsciously around these stimuli and experiences, and putting together some thoughts off the back of them, which is perhaps making us feel a certain way. But do you believe it on a gut level? If we truly embrace the notion that our thoughts produce tangible effects in our lives, why would we not do everything we could to never have a bad one? We're in this hectic reality, you know? It's pressurized, always on, interrupted and distracted. Our brains are awash with demands and the hecticness of life, okay? So we need strategies and tactics to deal with this. I think everyone's a little bit touched, and you know, we're here. We're a team, and we're here for one another. So, you know, you can reach out to each and every one of us, and that goes for everybody. And you need to say, I know what that is in advance, when it happens, when it comes through, and the way you deal with it is by saying, I see you, I know what that is, I expected you, and this was my plan on how to deal with that. If we're setting out for it not to be a perfect outcome, it stops being a failure, it starts being the plan. And I think that's what we're looking for here. So in this uniqueness section, what I want you to think of is what unique qualities you have that support this move. And I want you to think of it in a business context, a bit like a sustainable competitive advantage. What is it that you have over other people that makes you unique and stronger than other candidates? Why do I think like an Olympian? Why do I behave like an Olympian? Why do I act like an Olympian? Why do I start to feel the results like an Olympian? Well, what does an Olympian do? He eats a certain way. He trains a certain way consistently. He uses a certain mindset. He doesn't overtrain. He thinks about injury. He does all of the things right. Okay, well, what are those things? What does a successful writer do? What does a successful playwright do? What does a successful entrepreneur do? He has a good plan. He doesn't take shortcuts. He rewrites the plan 10 times. He doesn't talk to 30 investors. He talks to 150. I mean, this is you bring up quite an interesting point here, because every single one of the team here is hugely successful in what they do. We all have mid to senior level jobs. We all earn good money. We all have a lot of experience. We all kind of are individuals that are successful, and yet we're also hugely self-critical. We're also hugely, and isn't that interesting? Isn't that sort of thing to be curious about?
I felt that before I met Miles, I perhaps needed to take stock to look at where I wanted to be career-wise over the course of the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years realistically. And the breakthrough course enabled me to really reassess my priorities and establish what's important to me.
It has been a great experience. I have really learned a lot about myself, about my career, and a new perspective on it, how far I've come over the last 10 to 15 years in my career and in my personal life, and what it means and how I can use that going forward.
I enrolled on Miles's course earlier this year. It helped me to focus on the action I need to be taking in order to start up my new business. Really helped me to cut through the noise and doubt that surrounds that process. Gave me a great deal of confidence. I found the material to be well structured and very professional. The tools really gave me clarity of thought. I'd wholeheartedly recommend working with Miles.
So that is a bit of a whistle-stop tour of what I have to offer in this course, this breakthrough career change and development course. I'd love to explain it more if you'd like to grab a coffee with me or find out more.
Well, the dream would be to go in on the 6th of January and resign my post. I have 3 months notice to give. So that's what I need over the Christmas period to think about a bit more carefully. But 3 months is quite a lot of time. And so the idea is then to work out what kind of work and what period of the week would it take for me to keep going and allow me to focus on this main purpose, really.